streets of Los Angeles were shrouded in the mist of the early morning, a calm before the storm. In 1947, the city was a paradox, glamorous yet grim, where the bright lights of Hollywood cast long, dark shadows. It was within these shadows that the most gruesome mystery would unfold, one that would chill the bones of even the toughest detectives. Elizabeth Short, a young woman with dreams of stardom, walked these very streets, known as the Black Dahlia for her striking dark hair and the way she often dressed in black. She was a mystery unto herself, always searching, always waiting for her big break. She had become a fixture in the city's underbelly, but no one ever suspected the darkness that followed her. On the fateful morning of January 15th, a woman named Betty Bersinger stumbled upon a sight that would haunt her forever. There, in a vacant lot in Leimert Park, lay the body of Elizabeth Short, or rather, what was left of her. Her corpse had been severed clean in half, drained of blood, and posed grotesquely as if part of some sick art piece. Her face was slashed from ear to ear in a gruesome smile, mocking the world that had turned a blind eye to her suffering. The newspapers were quick to sensationalize the murder, plastering Elizabeth's smiling face across the front pages. The Black Dahlia, they called her, a name now etched in infamy. The LAPD scrambled to solve the case, but every lead turned cold, every witness became unreliable. Whispers began to circulate, rumors of a man, shadowed and faceless, who had been seen with her in the days leading up to her death. But no one knew his name, and no one dared to follow the trail too far. Days turned into weeks, and soon months passed without an arrest. But the city never forgot. A dark cloud loomed over Los Angeles, and Elizabeth's death became the stuff of nightmares. Yet, this was not the end of her story. It was on the first anniversary of her death that strange things began to happen. Detective Harris, one of the original investigators, was plagued by sleepless nights. He had been obsessed with the case, his mind unable to rest while her killer walked free. But now, his dreams were haunted by visions of Elizabeth. One night, he woke drenched in sweat, his heart pounding. The air in his bedroom felt thick, oppressive, as if someone was watching him. And then, he heard it, a faint whisper.
"Find me."
The voice was unmistakable, though soft and distant. It was Elizabeth. Shaken but determined, Harris began to revisit the case. Old files were dusted off, crime scene photos re-examined, and as he delved deeper, he noticed something he had never seen before. In every photograph of the crime scene, just beyond the frame, there was a shadow. It was faint, almost imperceptible, but there, a figure. The next night, the whispers returned, louder this time. Harris sat up, and there, at the foot of his bed, stood a figure. A woman dressed in black, her face pale and her lips stretched into that same terrifying smile he had seen in the photos. It was her, Elizabeth Short, the Black Dahlia.
"Help me. He's watching, always watching."
She whispered again, her voice filled with pain and sorrow. Before Harris could speak, the room grew cold. The light in the hallway flickered, and suddenly the figure of a man appeared behind her, tall, faceless, with hands outstretched, In an instant, she was gone, pulled back into the darkness. Harris, now on the edge of sanity, knew he had to find the truth. He retraced Elizabeth's final days, uncovering names and places that had long been forgotten. And it was in an old Hollywood bungalow that he found it, a hidden room, walled off from the rest of the house. Inside, dusty photographs lined the walls, pictures of Elizabeth taken without her knowledge, notes detailing her every move. And then, in the center of the room, a single black dahlia, wilted and decayed. As he reached out to touch it, the room grew cold once again. The whispers returned, louder, more frantic. Harris turned to leave, but the door slammed shut. The figure of the man was there, standing in the shadows, faceless yet terrifyingly present. The air grew thick with the dread, and Harris knew this was no ordinary man. This was something far darker, far older. He had become a part of the story now, entwined in the same web that had ensnared Elizabeth. The Black Dahlia's murderer was never meant to be found, because he wasn't just a man. He was the darkness itself. And now, he had a new victim. Detective Harris was never seen again. His disappearance just another unsolved mystery in the annals of Los Angeles. But the whispers continued, echoing through the forgotten streets and vacant lots. And if you listen closely, on quiet, misty mornings, you might hear her voice too. But be careful. You might find more than you bargained for.